Today, we're cracking open the world of mobile app security. We're going to take a look at exactly how ethical hackers find those hidden vulnerabilities in the apps on your phone, before the bad guys do.
Seriously, just think about it for a second. 50 apps? 100? How many of them are pinging your location or sending data to who knows where in the background? It's a question that really gets to the heart of why this stuff matters so much.
So here's what we're going to cover. We'll start with why app security is such a big challenge in the first place, look at the most common flaws, cover the two main ways to investigate them, walk through the essential tools of the trade, and then we'll put it all together and see how the pros do it. Okay, let's start with the big picture. Why are so many mobile apps kind of leaky when it comes to security? Well, it really boils down to a fundamental tension in the whole app development world. Think about it. Developers are under insane pressure. They've got tight deadlines and a huge list of new features to build. It creates this mindset of, let's just ship it now, we'll patch the security stuff later. And what's the result? Well, those security holes often get shipped right along with a shiny new update straight to your phone. So, all that pressure leads to a set of recurring problems that security researchers see over and over and over again. Let's take a look at the most common cracks that show up in an app's digital foundation. These four right here, these are the heavy hitters. First up, insecure data storage. That's where stuff like your password is just saved as plain text on your phone. If someone gets their hands on your device, they can just read it. Then you've got weak API communication. This basically means your data isn't properly scrambled when it's sent from your phone to the app's server, making it super easy to snatch on public Wi-Fi. Third, hard-coded secrets. Oh man, this one is huge. It's like finding the master key to a building literally written on the wall inside the app's code. And finally, improper session management, which is a fancy way of saying an attacker could potentially reuse an old login session to get into your account long after it should have expired. Now, finding these flaws isn't just guesswork. Ethical hacking is a methodical process, and it really relies on two different but complementary ways of investigating an app. So you've got static and dynamic analysis. Think of static analysis as studying a building's blueprint. You take the app's code and look at its structure without ever actually running it. This is where you hunt for those hard-coded keys or weird permissions. Dynamic analysis, on the other hand, is like watching people actually use that building. You run the app and you watch what it does in real time, capturing all the data it sends back and forth. You really need both. Static shows you the plan, dynamic shows you what's actually happening. Okay, to do all this cool analysis, you obviously need the right tools. So let's peek inside the ethical hacker's toolbox and see what software they use to take these apps apart. Each tool here has a really specific job. MobSF is a fantastic starting point. It's an all-in-one tool that gives you a quick automated report. For intercepting traffic, Burp Suite is the gold standard. It sits between your phone and the internet, letting you see every single piece of data the app sends. For looking at the code, you'd use something like JDX to turn the app back into readable Java. And then there's Frida. That's the really advanced stuff. It lets you hook into a running app and mess with it in real time, doing things like bypassing a login screen. So we have the concepts, we have the tools. How do you put it all together? Well, a professional security tester follows a pretty clear, structured workflow when they get their hands on a new app. The process usually starts with reconnaissance, or recon. You just download the app, and the first thing you do is check the permissions it's asking for. Camera, contacts, location. If a simple little game is asking for your entire contacts list, that's a huge red flag. Next up is static analysis, where you fire up a tool like MobSF to scan for those hard-coded secrets. Then it's time for traffic analysis with Burp Suite. You actually use the app and watch the network. Is the data encrypted? How does it handle your login token? And finally, you get to dynamic testing, where you're actively poking and prodding the running app. Can you change a user ID in a request and suddenly see someone else's private data? That's the fundamental workflow right there. Okay, I have to pause here for something that is incredibly important. This is the legal and ethical line. Everything we've talked about, it's a powerful skill set. Using these techniques on an app without explicit written permission is absolutely illegal. The right way, the legal way to practice these skills is through bug bounty programs. That's where companies will literally invite you and even pay you to find vulnerabilities in their systems. So please, stick to the ethical side of things. At the end of the day, we trust these apps with everything: our money, our health records, our private conversations. But as we've seen, the rush to get new features out the door can leave all of that data wide open. And it leaves us with one final, really crucial question. Who should ultimately be responsible for protecting our data? Is it the developers who write the code,
the companies who profit from the app, or is it on us, the people using them every single day? Something to think about. Thanks for watching.